The Boys Presents Diabolical is a new series on Amazon Prime Video. Today is March 4th and it just released. I watched the entirety of this series, so let's talk about it. Welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for coming along. I'm Ryan. I'm a big fan of The Boys, and I'm really excited for the third season, which should be out sometime this year. So this new series comes out today. It's an anthology, it's animated, and it's almost like a series of short films. So what is The Boys Presents Diabolical? Is it worth your time? So this show is really short. It's only 8 episodes, and each episode runs about 15 minutes. So like when I say I binge watched the entire thing today, I really did. And I don't usually do that with shows, even my favorites, but it's just something easy to watch. It was in and out, and each episode was actually pretty good. There was a few that were better than others, but overall, as a series, if you're a fan of The Boys, I'm gonna just say yes, you should watch it, because it's got stories about some of the main characters in The Boys, but it also has stories about things going on outside of them. It's about Compound V, it's about Vought, it's about the corruption that Vought is a part of and what they do with their soups and the world around them. So it's some pretty interesting stuff. Definitely an easy watch. Like I said, it's kind of just super quick. I mean, a few hours of your time. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, it's not going to stand out in the same way as The Boys, although a couple episodes in here have the potential, especially if we got to see them expanded, which we might. The Boys Presents Diabolical gives us some different kind of animations in each episode, which I think is one of the main things that makes this show so cool and just so fresh. Despite it being animated, it doesn't go for the same look. We have one that's like a Saturday morning cartoon from many years ago. We've got one that is anime. We've got an episode that literally looks like it's out of Rick and Morty, and it turns out it may as well be, because Justin Roiland was attached to it. And I think that's super cool, because Diabolical is a series that let a lot of different talents in. You can see it right when the episodes start. They say it's written by so-and-so, and there's some pretty notable voice talents as well. It looks like a lot of creative people got to express themselves being a part of this world of The Boys. As a fan of the show, like, I was definitely excited to see what this show had to offer, and I'm glad I watched it. I got a lot of good laughs, but there's also some really good stories in here too. I mean, it is short, and 15 minutes, it basically acts as like, 8 short films, and I think it pretty much succeeded at that. One episode, like I said, is made by Justin Roiland, and it has the same kind of look as Rick and Morty. I almost thought I was watching an episode of Interdimensional Cable, and it was done really well. It was super fun, and that episode was about a band of misfits. These kids, they're all young, and they all have powers that are not necessarily interesting or even useful at all. Some of them are absolutely stupid, and their parents sort of just abandoned them because their powers weren't good, but they got the powers from the Compound V experiments, just like Homelander, the Deep, Maeve, and everyone else. But yeah, these kids decided to lash out, and it's a very fun episode. There is one episode that is styled like an anime, and it's got a pretty strange plot. It's about a kid who gets her hands on Compound V, and the results are interesting to say the least, but the little adventure she goes on, benefits that her life gets, are great for her. And then there is another episode that we get to see a couple different soups surrounded by the ones that we do know from The Boys, and Billy Butcher's doing his thing, trying to stop them at any cost, and the results are a little crazy. We get to see one really cool little experiment in an episode of this show where this guy gets his hands on something that can change the way he looks, sort of just imagine how you want to look and you'll be that way. And it has a direct connection to social media, as you can see in the plot of the episode, where it's suggesting that people care so much about what they look like, and social media has a big effect on that and their image and their perception of themselves and others. And it has a really emotional story that is done super well. And then in the last episode, without going into any spoilers, we get a story that has to do with a main character or two of The Boys, and it's done super well, and it really makes me so excited to see more of the show. It is really impactful, and like I said, has a good story, and the show overall is very violent, very much so, just like The Boys. It's a mature show, despite being animated. It's not a kid's show. I think that The Boys Presents Diabolical is just a fun way to connect to other characters and stories within the show from Prime Video, and tell some different stories, because it's not so much just about the main characters that we know and love. We get side stuff. Vought is crazy, and we get to really see things that are going on behind the scenes and how bad they really are. We get to see Compound V get in the hands of the wrong people or the right people, depends on how you look at it. I love that it was an anthology, Every episode is its own thing, and some of them might never be connected to again. Others might be followed up in The Boys Season 3 or even in an eventual second season of this show. It's fun, it's easy to watch, it's got some fun moments in there. Overall, really entertaining, and because it's so short and because each episode stands alone, I think it is definitely worth your time if you like the show, The Boys. I mean, if you've never seen The Boys, don't watch this yet. Definitely go watch that first. I recommend it. And that's pretty much all my thoughts on The Boys Presents Diabolical. Like I said, this show came out today, March 4th, at the time of recording. And I binged the whole thing, really easy to watch, very fun. Not necessarily as good as The Boys, but it's pretty good. And those are my thoughts. If you guys have seen the show, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's try to keep it spoiler-free, though. This is kind of just my review, my thoughts on the series. What are you guys excited for the third season of The Boys? It's going to wrap it up for me, guys. I appreciate your time here, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.